We're looking in the corner by the basement door and the bathroom door. I don't know if the camera picks this up. Do you hear that hum? Listen. There's just this hum in the house, and it's strange because I only hear it here. I don't hear it upstairs in this area of the house or even downstairs in this area of the house. It's very strange. And even in the hallway over here, I'll put the light on for a second here. I don't know if it's really necessary. There's still a hum. Very odd. This is why you need to be good at pinpointing sounds that may not be normal. So here is my digital picture frame machine. It's been running perfectly fine. Not a stitch of trouble with it whatsoever. It's been perfect, perfect, perfect. And then for the past day or two, I've been noticing something. After turning various things off, I finally realized it's this machine. And I know why. I gotta dig it out and bring it downstairs so we can service it. That wasn't too bad. Of course, getting it back where it belongs is going to be another really fun thing. HP was nice. They put thumb screws on this because they knew that you were going to have to service it all the time. And take that off. This has been running in an enclosed cabinet for some time. It's warm all around. Dust is very minimal. Certainly not bad. The hard drive is mounted here. We'll just pull the power out of it because it doesn't need to spin up and down. For now, for what we're doing, let's plug it in. I guess I could use the towel to sort of spin this a little bit, like Adrian's Digital Basement does, and let's try turning it on. You hear that? Seems to be the processor fan. I thought it was the power supply fan. Might be both. It's trying to boot. It doesn't matter. No hard drive connected. Yeah, that's not right. There it is. Maybe you can see. Yeah. That's our problem. You see how it gets going, and then due to lack of lubrication, it kind of judders on the shaft and slows down. You can see the sticker. Now, of course, it won't do it again. Maybe you saw it before, is what I could tell you. It stopped very abruptly. So, let's see. That looks like it's going to need a #1 Phillips. Normally, I repair these machines on the freezer, but there's too much junk there, and this is just a quick fan repair. Okay, I don't know what that sound was. That was a little odd. Capacitors look alright. Let me get the camera up here. Most computer people are going to say, oh, just replace the fan. Sure. Yeah. We're going to do this the J way. So, I guess we should probably unplug it. Kind of just plugs in down there, so that was difficult. 3 wires. We got 4 screws. Do they come out or are they captive? They come out. Notice I am using a hand screwdriver and not an electric screwdriver or drill. This is how all of my computer work is done. All by hand all the time. Exceptions might be case or power supply screws if the tool is handy, but that's otherwise it. I mean, literally, there are only 4 screws. It's not a big deal. That's that. The fan is stuck. There. That's better. Oh, great. This is going to be a nice one. Yeah, it's a little dusty, so I'm going to blow that out with compressed air first. That's not going to fix it, but we should get the dust off of it. Heatsink is... we'll pretend we didn't see that. So, yeah, let me clean this up a little bit, and then we'll try to oil it. I can feel it just spinning it. Maybe you could hear that. It's pretty bad. Alright, let me clean this up. Well, now that I can't hear anything because of the air compressor, that's good. Yep, here it is. When blowing this out with the compressed air, I could feel how bad this was. It was very vibrating and stuff, although it did seem to want to spin, so that wasn't too bad. I'm going to peel the sticker off here and see what we can find. See what we can do. We may have to do some exploratory surgery. Ugh, maybe. I don't want to. This is kind of like one of them sealed ones where it's not really good. I just want to feel this a second. No, it doesn't want to just pop. Not great. We're going to use the blue can, because that's what it's there for. Put some oil there. That's way too much. Perfect. It's not going to do anything just sitting there. Spin it around a little. You know, not for nothing, from what I'm feeling, that feels quite a bit better. Not perfect yet, by no means. I'm going to leave that to sit for time. I'll get a paper towel, we'll wipe that off, and blow it with some more compressed air. Well, that certainly drank the oil up quick. I went to dab it, and there's almost nothing that came off of there. You saw it was a big globule. Let's hit her again. There. You see how much oil is on there? It's really a very, very tiny amount, but just in spinning it by hand, playing with it. Oh, that is nice now. We're not there. But I think with some compressed air blowing at it, it might not be too bad. And in fact, that looks like it's soaked in quite a bit also. Go ahead and dab that off, wipe that off. Yep. This is not the right way to do this, by the way. But it's the way I do it. That's why it works. I was trying to pop the blades off. They didn't really want to go, and I don't want to force it because while I might have a fan this size somewhere, I don't know where it is. So let's blow this with some compressed air and see what happens. And here's the air. Real gentle. I'll get my air stream going first. Compressor may fire at any moment, so just be aware. That's already spinning way faster than it normally would. Sometimes a nice heavy blast will do it, and I think we got it. I'm going to put another drop of oil on here and blow it one more time. Try another blast. Still noisy. You can hear how the bearings are spent. Let me spin it up and see if I could point it close to the camera. You hear that? So it's not going to be perfect. That we knew. That's probably the RPM it normally runs at. So I think with that being done, we can go ahead and reinstall this. I'll make believe I blow out the heat sink. Maybe. We're all set. Ideally, you can put the sticker back, but like I said, that's ideally. It's it doesn't stick anymore. Yeah, that's bound to happen. So you got a couple things you can do. You can leave it, or you can put something else there. I'm going to get a piece of electrical tape. Let's try that. Probably still too big. Yeah, well, maybe I can sort of mush off the corners. I got some gunk from the tape in the cutter here. Doesn't want to come off my flindas. So maybe if I can just round the corners off. Maybe a scissor would work better. Probably. Really. I don't know how much it's going to stick after this. And I'm also not rounding anything. I'm just sort of squaring off the corners. Alright, we're going to make believe that's fine. And we'll just sort of do that. It doesn't stick anymore. Right. So there's that repair. And now we're going to go ahead and put this back in. Nothing bad is going to happen. I've done this a million times. Sometimes the sticker works, sometimes not. Get some power back on. And connector, they had it looped underneath the processor hold down for the heatsink. That's unnecessary. That is completely unnecessary. Nice maybe, but unnecessary. Now why this doesn't plug in, even though I have it all lined up, is a great question. There he goes. So there, it's back. Gotta get a screwdriver and a screw. Now these are a little troublesome because you gotta line up where it goes. And right, this actually seems to have some sort of recess yeah, that it sort of sits in. That's actually rare. So HP did something right for once? That's odd. It seems like it might have started. I just want to kind of get the screws in-ish. Not necessarily in the right spot, but in the right spot. Okay, one of them felt a little funny, which was this one, so we'll turn it backwards. And then forwards. That feels a lot better. Yeah, there you go. Not all the way, because you want to get the rest of the screws where they need to go, just to avoid things not wanting to line up. Okay, leave that a little loose. This one, whoopsie. There we go. And that one. Okay, now we'll tighten them down. Not too much, just so it's a little snug. Right there. Good. And good. Okay. Let's see what it sounds like now. Not great, but better. In time, as this runs, that oil is going to get slung around in there. And it will get a little quieter over time. For me, in this particular circumstance, now, there's a couple things here. You almost always can fix an 80mm fan or larger. So 80, 92, 120, and sometimes larger ones. Because they usually have a little cup where the bearing is. And you can put some oil in there. This one is not what I'm most familiar with, and doing what I did is not the right way to do it. There is a way to get the blades out of there. Problem is, I don't have a spare, and I don't want to break what I have, and if I can make it betterer, then that would be even betterer. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Does a guy have something? Yeah, he does. Twist tie ought to work. I'm going to demonstrate. You can hear it already, but I'll jam this in the power supply. So yeah, you can hear the bearing for sure. I don't know if you can see it spin. But it certainly is spinning a lot more true than it was before. Let me get this prop back up and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and power it on again. A little noisy on takeoff, but that sticker is spinning nice and true now compared to how it was before. It was bad before. It was real bad. You could see it and you could hear it. Power supply is not the quietest thing in the world. Proper service procedure would be to go ahead and dismount the power supply and oil that fan, even though it doesn't need it, while I'm in here, because the machine is such a pain to take out of where it lives. So we're going to pretend that we did that. And go ahead and close this guy up because there's nothing else to do. It doesn't pay to open the supply and do that. Two reasons in this case. First is, see right here? There's no room. I would have to remove the optical drive that's here and slide that out just to get access to this thing, because it has to come out into the machine, obviously. Can't come out the back of it. And right here, it's got a The reason why is because this machine originally came with a micro ATX power supply with some sort of bracket I used to have laying around here somewhere. I don't know where it is anymore. Some sort of bracket to make it fit in there, because it just, there's not the clearance in the machine. And yeah, so that's one reason. And the second reason is that it's working perfectly fine. Now, could it fail? Sure, absolutely. Could it fail soon? Absolutely. And I may be doing this job again. But the amount of work involved in getting that out, I mean, I blew the dust out of it. I'll give you 5 months, maybe. All right. Let's power it down. Still noisy, but it'll work, and it'll be a lot better than it was. This has a little tab on it. It's got to go in. That's why there's a slot back there. So we got to go in here like that. Get that lined up, and then somehow like that. And then, of course, you put the cover back on and that, and then go put it back where it belongs, and then forget that you forgot to plug the hard drive back in. So we're going to plug that right back in over here. So this way it'll actually boot up when it's time. There we go. Cover. Little known fact, I was a PC service technician for too many years. So I'm the old timer that you want to meet. The guy that knows everything, you know. Sometimes the hardest part of the job is putting a case back together. I don't know why that is. But sometimes that is the hardest part of the entire job. See, it's in. Oh, we got it. Not bad this time. So it made a liar out of me, but that's all right. I've been there, done that with many machines. And indeed, I have been stuck sometimes where the repair was, I don't know, maybe a bad video card, if it were an add-in or something like that, or an upgrade, and you go open the machine up, you put the video card in, 3 seconds flat, and then you're there for 20 minutes trying to close the machine up. Oh, does anybody remember Windows Millennial? Yeah, it's runs XP. XP's out of date. Yeah, you're right. Don't care. That's perfectly fine. Another little fun fact about this machine, just while it's out, in case you never saw the videos on the full refurbishment of this and the transition from the old machine I used to have running it into the new one, there is a total of 1 USB port on this machine. Down below, modem and Ethernet. It's got a serial port, if anybody remembers those, RS-232. If we come back around to the front, I'll lift this up so you can see. There's your other USB port. And a front-mounted serial port? What? Why? This machine was made right when digital cameras first came out. And some of the earliest ones hooked up via serial. And you didn't want to hook up your digital camera via serial to transfer the information in because it just took forever. But back in those days, we didn't have dumb phones that have cameras in them. So the instant gratification was not even a Polaroid, because when you snap a picture with a Polaroid, if you remember those, you had to wait for it to develop. And it took, you'd watch it, and it's about a minute in, you'd kind of start seeing stuff, and then after about 5 minutes, there it is, there's your picture. Have a nice day, that'll be $20 at the amusement park, please. So that's how it used to be. So if you had to wait for 30 seconds for one picture to transfer in, that wasn't a big deal. And if you had, I don't know, because we were still just weaning off of film, so if you had 24 pictures at 30 seconds each, that's about 12 minutes, give or take processing speed and everything else. That's a long time. That is indeed a long time. But 12 minutes for 24 pictures, there's no way you could have gotten that film developed in that amount of time. So it was still pretty fast even then. Of course, if you had a fancier digital camera that had USB, well then you could plug that in, and that was like 20 times faster or something like that. And that's USB 1.1, by the way. There was no USB 2, USB 3, USB 4, wireless USB, and all the other USB things that they have today. Yeah, no, that's how it was. That's what we did. And this 667 megahertz processor, Celeron, if I recall, no, I'm sorry, 866 megahertz, was plenty powerful enough to do your digital photography on Windows Millennial with your inkjet printer and print it out on plain paper, and you say, wow, look, this is digital. All right, she's fixed. Nice. So there's your history lesson for the day and why this machine is the way it is. It's missing all of the plastic on it because A, it's ugly, and B, this is the only way it fits in the cabinet where it goes. So I'm going to go put that back, and we'll see if that hum is gone. All right, same corner. I have to turn the machine on and then close up the cabinet that it sits in. So give me a minute to do that. I'll leave the camera running, and then we'll listen to it after everything is closed. And we are booting, and coming back here. Nope, no more hum. It's perfect. And here is Windows XP loading up on a Celeron 866 megahertz machine. This is hardwired Ethernet because, of course, and grabs all of its pictures from a server that is in the basement. It does an automatic backup, which are going to be the DOS looking screens or the command line looking screens that are going to come up in a few moments. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it doesn't need to be. There they go. So while that's running and we're waiting for it to start the picture slideshow, let us talk about why would I use this instead of one of those digital picture frames that they make now. At the time, I didn't have any of those. I got a bunch of them now. Only one of them comes close to what this thing does. Using a piece of software on an actual PC will produce a lot better transitions between the pictures, so that's one part of it. Number two, I'm proud of my work. Number three, I got all these old PCs around, I got to do something with them, right? So you can repurpose old machines to have them do something that is within their capabilities. And that is exactly what I did with this here to make a digital picture frame. The only one that I had that came close was one made by Benny Bella, odd name, But that was a 17-inch. This is, I think, a 19-inch screen. It's obviously a 4:3 aspect ratio instead of a 16:9, which is more common today. But, a proper photo is taken at a 4:3 aspect ratio. You used to have your 3:5 and your 4:6 photos and stuff like that. Yeah, there was a reason for that. Nowadays, if you try to put a cell phone taken picture, you need a widescreen. The transitions do run slow on here, nothing I can do about that, but it sort of adds to the charm of it and makes it a little bit more fun in that regard. Let's wait for another one. There's another one. Not sure who those people are. Yeah, people I definitely don't know. But I took their picture. Looks like an old digital camera, couple on the table. Definitely seems to work. Much, much quieter. The hum is gone, and I'm very happy about that. So, even with unorthodox repairs like I did, I've been around the block a lot with this stuff, and that fan will be just fine without a sticker on it. How long it's going to run? Probably longer than it did when it was brand new, and this thing is already 20 years old, probably, easily. Maybe even more than that, 23, maybe even 24 years old at this point. So all around, a great fix. It's probably going to last for a really long time. And if it does get noisy again, I can always edit it one more, oil it one more time. And, by then it probably would be ready for a replacement. So anyway, that will wrap this video up. I thank you very kindly for watching. That's seductive. I thank you very kindly for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. I also don't know who that is, by the way. Just a random picture that I had gotten on a camera that somebody gave me. So, yeah, that's it. That's going to wrap this up. Thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. Make sure you click like. Make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.